pinch running, various things like that. Pitcher substitutes also. Sorry, I have to make sure the software is running okay. So what I've done here is I've set up a game, just an imaginary game between Cleveland and Minnesota. And I'm in the 7th inning, and I'm about to do some substitutions for Cleveland. They're down 3-2 in the game, going in the top of the 7th inning. So we're gonna play it out here and show you a few different things that we can do as far as pinch hitting, pinch running, and just various things like that. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get into it here. We're going to have Buddy Bell, and he's just going to make an out. And then I'm going to have Fred Kendall get a single. And since Fred Kendall's the tying run, we're going to go ahead and pinch run for him. And how we do that, we go up here to our toolbar, and you'll see pinch hit here, the PH. We have PR for pinch runners and NP for new pitchers. So that's how we're going to start our substitution process. In this case, I'm going to pinch run for Fred Kendall, and I am going to who was a decent runner on that team? Let's just have Ron Pruitt run for him. Okay, so we select our pinch runner here among the list of players. Over here we select who he is running for. In this case, he's going to run for the man on first base. Now here's the thing that really throws people off on this pinch running thing. Down here it says select slot. This is one of the slots underneath each batter. There are up to 7 substitutions for each batter, and that's what these slots are representing. Now, because Pete Habel, the programmer of this program, originally was doing things for little leagues and softball leagues and stuff like that, where you could freely substitute and have courtesy runners, if you will, instead of pinch runners, he automatically programmed that pinch runner to go into the number 8 slot, which is this bottom slot. That's not really going to work for replayers too well. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put him in the next available slot of the 8 slots or 7 slots underneath the batter. So your batter is going to be in slot 1. If this is the first substitute for that batter, you're going to click 2 and put him in the 2nd slot. So once you select that slot, then click OK, and you'll see that Pruitt's in there as a pinch runner. And so now Frank Duffy would be the batter. Frank Duffy couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat, so we're going to go ahead and pinch hit for Duffy, and we do that. Click the PH, and we're going to select our pinch hitter. In this case, it's going to be Larvell Blanks, who also played shortstop that year, so we'll probably keep him in the game. Again, we select the slot that we want the pinch hitter to appear in. With the pinch hitters, they generally the next open slot will be selected, and that's what's happened here. It said, okay, he's the batter's here, number 1. We'll put him in this next available open slot 2. And once you've done that, you just click OK. I will add down here below. This is where you can add players. If you don't have complete rosters and you need to add the player that you want to substitute in, you can just click that button, and BallScore will allow you to add a player to the roster. Make sure you save your roster anytime you add a player. But we don't have to worry about that. We got full rosters here, so we're good to go. So we've got him in slot 2. We click OK, and we see that Blanks is now in the game. You'll also notice BallScore has put this little gray triangle in the corner here. That's to represent that it's a pinch runner. So we're going to go get into that a little bit more as we go on in this game, because you'll see there's whereas here for the pinch hitter it's put in a new batter marker. It doesn't do that on the pinch runners, and that's because we want Fred Kendall to get credit for the hit that he got in this inning. So you can't put the new batter marker here, otherwise it'll give the pinch runner credit for the hit also, which obviously that's not the way it happened. So we're going to have to insert a new batter marker, assuming Pruitt doesn't stay in the game. If he does, then I think we can just leave that blank. Actually, we might need to install one. Yeah. We'll get to that later. For now, we're going to continue on with the inning. Blanks is the batter, and we're going to say that Blanks hits a double. Our brilliant managing, and that Pruitt, our pinch runner, is going to score all the way from first base. So we can look now at our box score, and you can do this either by coming up here to reports and clicking box score, or you can just hit the number 1 on your keyboard. It's popping up on my other screen, so I'll bring it over here and we'll see. You'll see Pruitt is in as the pinch runner, and then he has a run scored, as he just scored the tying run there. Blanks as the pinch hitter has come in, and he's 1 for 1 with an RBI. So everything has worked perfectly there. That's just the way we want to see it. So we can go ahead and close this. And now Rick Manning's the batter. We're just going to say he's going to round out to the second baseman. And the runner goes to third. And then Kuiper, we're going to have him get a single. And that'll score Blanks. So now Cleveland's ahead 4-3. And at this point, Minnesota's saying, we got to get the starting pitcher out of there. So we can go to the NP here for new pitcher, and we can select our pitchers from the list here and go with Ron Schuler. This batting order position, this is where the batter is going to bat, what order he's in. If it's a National League game, then most likely that's going to be the 9th spot. If you know this pitcher is not going to bat, next time he comes around, you know you're going to put in a pinch hitter, you can just click does not bat. He doesn't show up in the box score as a batter. He only shows up as a pitcher that way. What that does, what that allows you to do, it saves some of these slots. If you're making a lot of substitutions and a lot of pinch hitters, sometimes you can fill all of these slots, which gets to be problematic as far as what do you do once you fill all those spots? Well, we'll have to see. There are a couple options actually. One of them is to take out any pitchers that did not bat, and then just adjust your new batter markers, and you should be okay. But in this case, this is a American League game, a DH game, so he's not going to bat. So we can go ahead and click OK. And he is now in the game. Again, if you want to verify that, you can just hit your number 1 or your reports and box score. And if you go down to the pitching here, hopefully my software is able to keep up with what I'm doing here. You'll see Schuler's in the game, and Zahn's pitching line is what it is for right now. I mean, he could still be charged some additional runs. BallScore will keep track of that. So we'll go ahead and click out of that, and Schuler gets him to fly out. Okay, now that ended the inning. It flipped over to Minnesota's box score, but BallScore saying, hey, you put in a pinch hitter and or pinch runner, you may need to change some things around on your other side, on your defensive side, to make sure you have all your players where they're supposed to be. So we click OK to that. Good, thanks for the reminder. And we go to our defensive screen, and we can do that by clicking this D in our toolbar. Click that, and it brings up a field and showing our current defense the way it is. Well, we pinch hit for Frank Duffy, and we pinch ran for Fred Kendall. So we need to do replacements for both of those. So at shortstop, we used Blanks as a pinch hitter, and he can also play short. So we just go ahead and change that to Blanks. And then for Fred Kendall, we brought in Ron Pruitt. Actually, I think he can catch. He's a pretty poor catcher, though. And now that we have the lead, we probably want to bring in somebody with a little better defense. So we'll bring in Ray Fosse. And once we've done that, we click OK. And now BallScore is going to say, is this the defense you want for the rest of the game? Yes, you're going to click yes to this. And now it's saying, hey, you made some defensive changes. Do you want to, insert those guys into your lineup? Well, yeah, you want them to bat next time they come around. So click yes to that. And now we have to insert. Blanks is already going to be in the game, but we're going to need to insert Ray Fosse into the lineup for replacing Fred Kendall's pinch runner. One of the things you'll notice here, it's like, well, where do I insert this guy? I don't seem to have all my slots available to me. It's just the guys in the batting order. As a matter of fact, we see Frank Duffy still at shortstop. What's going on? That doesn't look right. That's just to save some space. We can click here, subs and hidden pitchers, and it's going to show, it will show all the slots available now for each batting order position. So we can put our subs in very easily now. As a matter of fact, as we go down here, you see Ron Pruitt in there as the pinch runner. And we also see Larvell Blanks as the pinch hitter for Duffy, and he's now in the game of short. Some people get hung up on this, that it doesn't say pinch hitter dash shortstop now that we've just inserted him in as shortstop. Don't worry about that in the RLM. It will show correctly in the box score, but on the RLM it's only going to show you him as a pinch hitter. That's how he originally came into the game. You don't need to mess with that. You don't need to worry about it. It will be correct in the box score. Crap, my phone's ringing. What do I do? Well, I'm going to keep going with the video. So, pardon the annoying phone ringing. It'll stop here real soon. And we now need to put in Ray Fosse in as our catcher. So we select Fosse. You may have noted he was already gray. He had already been selected. Click the slot you want to put him in. Click on Fosse. Click the position. Here you'll notice his position is already gray. That means it's selected. Let's just go ahead and click on it anyway and make it blue. And then we place the player in the lineup. It'll give us this duplicate position warning. This is, as the eye indicates, it's just for your information. Yeah, we know we already had a catcher in the lineup. We're putting in a different one. So click OK. That's fine. You'll see Fosse's been inserted there. And we click OK. And our substitutions are done. I'm going to flip back over to the Cleveland score sheet just to show you a couple things that have happened now that we've put in those substitutions. Okay. You'll notice before, whenever we put in the pinch hitter for Duffy, put in the new batter marker so that that at bat belongs to Larvell Blanks. If you'll notice, if I click on this cell, it should have Larvell Blanks. Yes, it does. Up here, it'll list who that batter is or was. And if we go back to the cell previous, that's indicating, well, Frank Duffy would have been in the game and would have batted in that spot had that spot come up. That's Frank Duffy there, where he did bat. But now it's Larvell Blanks. So all is working fine there. You'll notice now also we had Fred Kendall in the game. That's Fred Kendall's at bat there. This was also Fred Kendall's at bat. The little corner triangle there, dark triangle, shows that we'd used a pinch runner. So the pinch runner got credit for the run that scored. And Ray Fosse is the new catcher. So ball stat, whenever we made our substitution, put in a new batter marker to say, guys, Fred Kendall's not in the game anymore, neither is Ron Pruitt. And this cell, if we look up here, still shows Ron Pruitt. Okay. What's happening here is that because we made 2 substitutions, whenever it inserts a new batter marker, it goes to the next line. It says, okay, Fred Kendall, now I got a new batter marker. Oh, that's Ron Pruitt. Well, no, it's not, because we put in another player for him, another substitute for him for defense. So what you have to do in this case is you're going to want to make that, instead of a new batter marker, this red line that goes up and down, you're going to want to make that what's called a double new batter marker. So how do we do that? We come over to the edit up here, we click edit, we say insert double new batter marker, and click off that cell, and now it's a green line that comes through. That indicates that, hey, I've made 2 substitutes in that spot, so the pinch runner and the new defensive player. So now if I click on this cell here, up here we should see Ray Fosse. Okay, so now we know, okay, we've done our substitutions correctly, and what we needed in that spot was a double new batter marker. This is where it gets really confusing, I think, for people when they put in a pinch runner and then bring in somebody else for defense. They're expecting that new batter marker that's inserted to correct it, but that new batter marker, all it's saying is that move down to the next substitution. You need to insert a double new batter marker. And if you look up at this edit menu, yes, there's even a triple new batter marker. So if Fosse were to get hurt and I needed to put in another catcher before his next time came around, I would need to insert a triple new batter marker, so that it would take care of Pruitt, it would take care of Fosse, and then it would say, okay, this is the guy that's in the game. That's what those new batter markers are doing. They're basically saying who's in the game. How many players do I have to skip to get to who's currently batting? So in this case, I've inserted a double new batter marker, so it skips. It says, okay, it's not Fred Kendall, it's not Ron Pruitt, it's Ray Fosse. Okay, good. It's Ray Fosse. And here, where we only have 1 substitute, it's saying just go to the next guy in the line. So it's Larvell Blanks. Boom. It's Larvell Blanks. So BallScore is handling it. You need to make sure though that this is correct. The cell, anytime you put in a pinch runner, and whether you put in an additional substitute or not, click on this next cell over and see. Now, just something I will mention here, had we not brought in Ray Fosse, had we just brought in Ron Pruitt as, pinch runner and let him do the catching now, there would not be a new batter marker inserted here. You would have to insert that yourself. Next time you get down to that spot in the batting order, just go ahead and click on the cell and insert new batter marker, and that will differentiate to say who does this at bat belong to. So just a couple things. I think that's where people are getting tripped up on these pinch runners, knowing which new batter marker to insert there. It just depends on how many slots you need to skip through to get to who's batting in this cell. So that's what's going on there. I think that's all I'm going to do on substitutions. We've covered a pinch hitter situation. We've covered the pinch runner with a substitute for the pinch runner, and we've also covered a pitching change. I'm not going to do a double switch at this point because I set up an American League game, and there's really not a reason to do a double switch in an American League game that I can think of. So we'll cover that on another video. Hopefully that helps you out, especially on the pinch runners. I know a lot of people have been having problems with that, but just remember, just go to the cell next to where you've inserted that, look up here, see who BallScore thinks is going to be batting. And if it's not the right person, if that's not who you think it should be, then just put in another new batter marker, a double new batter marker, and then click off that cell so it has a chance to refresh and click back on. And if it's still not the right batter, go back and insert a triple new batter marker. And until you get that batter right, who's supposed to be in there. Or maybe if you didn't make this substitution, it should be the guy here, and then it's just a single new batter marker. So play around with it if you have to, but just keep in mind what the new batter marker is doing. It's telling BallScore, hey, go down to the next level, or the next slot. That's who the batter is supposed to be. And in this case, because we did 2 substitutions for the batter, we needed a double new batter marker. So hopefully that helps. If not, let me know and I'll try to explain it more clearly. But that should be it. Thanks.